Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, before we get to the boxing, congratulations to England. Okay, you know this is the European Championships. England has beat Germany 2-0, or like they would say 2-0. Now they beat Germany. Now for people that are not from Europe and don't understand the significance of England beating Germany, let me tell you, they partying over there. Corona Smarona. It's going to be on because that's a monumental, probably historic in their lore, because they have a German problem, a German phobia, we call it, especially when you're talking about penalty shots. I don't think they beat Germany in a significant game since 1966 or something like that. You know, we're going way back, right? So England to have beaten them 2-0 in a game where they had less ball possession, but not that much less. Germany had 57-43 or something. You know, it's not that much. It wasn't like 80-20. You know, but England played tough, and they scored their goals. Sterling, so y'all leave him alone with that racist stuff, right? The boy done helped y'all move on past Germany, so you know he's got to have a statue somewhere. And Kane, who's been going through it, not really, but when a striker doesn't score, then there's always something going on. So he hadn't scored in the 3 games that they played in the European Cup. Well, whatever. Bottom line is he only scored 2 goals any damn way in them 3 games. But played excellent defense up until now. Hadn't had a goal scored against them. Okay? So England, for because I like to go for them, but they always, something they underachieve, especially when you have the title of the motherland of soccer or football, right? So that is a big win for England. Let me tell you something. They beat Germany at a tournament, a significant tournament. That's something for those who don't know. Go back and check. That doesn't happen every day. So they're going to be really happy. So it's hopefully they get happy enough to start, respecting some other stuff that's going on in boxing because they're winning something. Maybe, and see, let me tell you something too before I move on by from that. Whoever they play, I'm not sure if they play the winner of Ukraine versus Sweden or, Switzerland beat France on penalty shots. And like I always say, the big stars in tournaments like this, they always miss the penalty shot. They got way more pressure. Mbappe was the last one shooting. That was a whole lot of pressure. But the young man, I heard he's a little bit, stuck on himself. And I try to tell people, well, when you get as awesome as he is at 19, try to see if you can fit your head through the door. It's going to take a little bit for him to, but Mbappe is still Mbappe. But France, it was the favorite, and I was hoping that they won, that they have a good team, kind of see the legendary team form. But, losing the game or two, gives you that humbleness back. You know what I mean? You get that humble pie. The humility is very important. So what I'm trying to say is England can beat Switzerland or, Sweden or Ukraine. So whatever it is in the semifinals, this is definitely an opportunity here to make it to the finals and maybe do something for England. So let's see what happens with them. Now, to boxing, a few headlines. One headline, let's talk about Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. Right, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. Mike Tyson is reported to have brought in $30 million for that fight with Roy Jones. Right, and even though I love both, well, I didn't love Mike Tyson, but I understand how awesome he was. Right. But I love me some Roy Jones. I think Roy Jones is the best fighter with the wow factor that I've ever seen. It's like, how you going to make James Toney look like that? How you going to do that? How you going to be just, Roy Jones did some stuff that was ridiculous, right? So, but when they fought, I wasn't really interested in that. I know it's an exhibition and whatever, and I'd seen it a couple of days later, whatever. But to bring in $30 million from that is really huge. But now Triller is suing Mike Tyson because he won't fight Evander Holyfield. Yeah, I said Mike Tyson and Holyfield. I know I didn't say Canelo and Andre this time, right? But it's the same type of thing. Some people know who not to mess with. And Mike Tyson is kind of obvious that he ain't trying to fight Evander Holyfield. We knew that. It was supposed to be happening. It won't. Mike Tyson ain't fighting Holyfield. Not now, not no more, right? Because the first fight, if anybody watches, you don't have to watch long. Watch 15 seconds of the first fight. Right? Just 15 seconds. Go, cut this off. Go watch Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield 1 for 15 seconds when the bell rings. Ding! Matter of fact, for 5 seconds. Ding! Boom. Tyson hit him with something. I think it was right hand. And a lot of other fighters would have failed from that. Mike Spinks and Bruce Seldon for sure. Right? Would have failed from that. And they ain't going to come back in, go up against the ropes, and then start fighting Mike Tyson like he's never been fought before. That's what Holyfield did. And in the second fight, I was winning round one. Mike Tyson doesn't lose round ones. That's why he freaked out. People are running from Mike Tyson in round one his whole career. Holyfield wanted to fight him his whole career, and we thought he was too small to do so and came in there and handled his business twice against Mike Tyson. And Evander Holyfield is fit enough now to where that fight with him and Mike Tyson is a damn good fight now. So all this money, and Triller is just basically saying, hey, that's we paid this money in this first fight. We know we were going to lose money, but it wasn't about that fight. You had to stay with us for the next fight so we can regain our money. So that's more or less, in a nutshell, what's going on with them. But the bottom line is Holyfield, okay? Because actually, Mike Tyson, like Canelo, could just say, hey, since I'm back fighting in exhibition and all this stuff, right? If it ain't my Holyfield or Lennox Lewis, ain't nobody really want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're going to really stage something and bite somebody else's ear off or something just for the joke about it or something. But if it's going to be a kind of a real fight, the one that sticks out in front of everybody by far, well, not by far, but by a lot, is Holyfield. After that, and you're talking like people like me, then my GOAT, Lennox, could come in there and fight a little something. Why not? That's the GOAT. But after, too bad Lennox is about like 3 years removed from, I think, to fight the heavyweights that are jamming right now. But he's a little bit too old for that. But, it's Lennox Lewis. But that's why Triller was trying to get their money back. You remember the Zone trying to get their money back from Canelo because, hey, man, dude, we just paid for Yildirim. We paid for Roy Fielding, right? Hey, dude, you got Jacobs in there. We're really happy about that one. But we got, we paying $35 million a pop here. Can you step it up? Andre, we got him signed here. You do know that. And they had a big meeting. Canelo was, I don't give a damn what was signed. I ain't fighting Andre. And that's what they know. That's why nobody mentions it never. With Canelo or Gennady Golovkin. Nobody mentions Andre, and he's right at your same promotional company. Right? They be mentioning people from other promotional companies. Hey, Charlo! Right? And you got Andre right there. So this is the same thing with Mike Tyson. It's just, when it comes to Holyfield, it's just not happening. So let's see what happens going forward. He's being sued by that. That's a boxing headline, don't you think? Another one is Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is, in some trouble right now a little bit, trying to get he's in a lawsuit, which, I don't really have to talk about because I don't think it's going to be anything. It's a lawsuit where he was supposed to fight from Paradigm Sports, his old sports company. They want to sue him for $3 million because he was supposed to fight Mikey Garcia or something like that. And Manny Pacquiao's come out and basically said that's not going to disturb anything with the fight with Errol Spence. But when he's speaking of this fight with Errol Spence, he's saying, to Floyd Mayweather now, right? I'm fighting real fights with Errol Spence. You only fighting for the money. I'm fighting for real fights. Floyd, you only fighting for the money, right? Because Floyd Mayweather said somewhere that he made $100 million for what did he call it? A legalized robbery or something like that. So and everybody's in an uproar because he's made $100 million for fighting Logan Paul. But hey, it is what it is. I still haven't watched that. I don't know. My interest wasn't there, but I'm just happy that Floyd Mayweather goes out and does his thing and make a whole lot of money. I just love watching him piss people off because we don't give a damn what Hulk Hogan made. And Ric Flair and The Undertaker and all them people in fights that we know that's just, scripted. We know that. But we don't care what they make. Hey, we happy. But we still look at the build-up. I never used to watch the fights. Now, The Undertaker, when his walkout was something I'm going to watch. But we didn't care what they was making. Right? So, hey. And see, when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, unfortunately, it's a little hypocrisy there. Because Manny Pacquiao was just trying to fight Conor McGregor, right? And I ain't going to say Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia is at least a boxer. But Conor McGregor was for big money, something you're going to win. If Poirier, or whatever this game, the MMA fighter, Poirier, or Dustin Poirier, beat him with striking him, then Manny Pacquiao going to beat the hell out of him, right? Floyd Mayweather just played with him. So, Manny Pacquiao going to basically beat the hell out of him for some money, right? And a whole lot of it. So Manny Pacquiao shouldn't have been interested in that fight. That's a little hypocrisy there. It's just like when Floyd Mayweather fought McGregor, made all that money, everybody was in an uproar that he shouldn't do it. But at the same time, Manny Pacquiao's promoter, Bob Arum, was offering Manny Pacquiao services to the same guy, right? While being out there saying, hey, Floyd Mayweather's destroying boxing doing this. And at that same moment, trying to get his best guy, Manny Pacquiao, to fight Conor McGregor, the same guy. So was Oscar De La Hoya. Man, this is messed up for Mayweather. He's messing up boxing and this and that, but trying to offer Canelo to fight McGregor. So do you take these people seriously? Once you find those things out, that's it for them. They can talk, but it bounces off. You know, they're capable of talking to you, telling you somebody else is messed up for doing something that they're trying to do right while they're telling you. So, that's it. Your credibility's shot. I know what you're capable of. So Manny Pacquiao, yeah, of course Floyd Mayweather. What's his damn name? Floyd what? Mayweather. Right? Of course I'm fighting for some money. And if I'm making $100 million to go out and fight somebody that I'm going to carry and we're going to stage everything before, yeah, he took my hat. Good. He made some money on the took a hat. I got some of that too. Right? Yeah, that's just what we rolling. And I'm Mayweather and I'm going to make this money because y'all want me to lose at anything. Shoot, I can come out and play some cards. Y'all want to see me lose at something. Right? Didn't he win the dance and stuff? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is with Mayweather. So I just enjoy him making his money and pissing people off, right? But don't be hypocritical about it. And that's what Manny Pacquiao is here, unfortunately. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's in a hard fight against Spence, right? But let's make sure this is clear. His trainer is relieved that it's Spence, right? And not Terrence Crawford. Right? So at the end of the day, you took somebody that's pretty hard, but let's not get it twisted. You didn't take Crawford. And you wanted how much to fight Crawford? Because it sounds like money, doesn't it? $40 million. That's money, isn't it? I don't know when we start calling money, right? Nowadays, everybody's so rich, right? So what do we call? Do we call $40 million money? Because that's what you was trying to fight Terrence Crawford, right? So it is what it is right now. Now, another boxing highlight is welcome to the Negro Leagues. We got a 168-pounder that I'm telling you is in the Negro Leagues now. But I'm to watch. He don't know it yet, but he's right there standing right behind line and Shakur Stevenson right behind because Stevenson's still trying to get in, right? Because I'm just not. Shakur Stevenson's actually in as bad as Oscar Valdez don't want to fight him, and the media won't tell them Oscar Valdez to fight him, right? And Shakur Stevenson's also. Apologizing for great fights when he shut somebody out, right? That means basically Negro League, but we're going to make him work for his Negro League. See if they keep doing it. David Morrell, Cuban guy, right? 6 fights, beat Mario Caceres, right? And beat him up, round 1, knockout. That's the guy in 168 pounds. What Canelo is, he's the WBA regular champion, right? And, ain't nobody gonna fight him. It's gonna be a problem. Now the good thing about it, he wants to fight Caleb Plant, and I wish he would fight Caleb Plant right now, like before Canelo does. So the winner of Caleb Plant versus David Morrell fights Canelo. Because even if Caleb Plant came out, that's a pick and fight. If Caleb Plant came out of there and beats David Morrell, man, I'm talking about he's feeling good about himself. And David Morrell, I just think David Morrell is a problem for everybody, and he's an obvious problem for everybody. Which means when those obvious problems comes like that, and they happen to be of color, woo. Negro Leagues. We're going to start ignoring this guy. Go watch David Morrell, 3 or 4 minutes, anything, and you can tell that he's special. Let's just put it like that. The guy's special. This one round knockout of Caceres was awesome, but everything he does so far is awesome. He's a southpaw, awesome guy, Cuban, going to be a problem. 6 fights, WBA regular title holder in the 168 pounds. And, it's just funny, though, nowadays, when I see talent like that, I used to get happy, living naive and not woke. But just woke, but, boxing woke, right? But when I see a brother this talented, I don't get happy anymore. I'm like, damn, man, too bad you that good, dude. That's it for you. You're not going to get too many fights. People going to start hating you soon, really. You're way too good to be liked. That's how I think about it. And that's exactly what happens. You'll see. David Morrell, go look at him. Watch this. The WBA will mandate a whole bunch of stuff. WBA mandated that Povetkin had to fight Joshua. They about to mandate, if watch this. If Deontay Wilder beats Tyson Fury, the WBA will mandate one of these regular champions, like Tyson, Brian, what's his name, Trevor Bryan or Manu Char or something, so Joshua can fight them. instead of fighting Deontay Wilder. That's what's going to happen. But this WBA champion, he's going to be just like the WBA regular champion, like your boy Guillermo Rigondeaux, right? You see, they just took Guillermo Rigondeaux out of that tournament with Nonito Donaire and your boy Casemiro, right? All of a sudden, he's out of that. Inoue, them three, they ain't none of them got to fight Rigondeaux. David Morrell going to be the same way because he's just too damn good, right? So watch you see what I'm saying. Let's move on to Lomachenko is back. Lomachenko beat Nakatani. Boom. And I told you from the day one, that's a perfect opponent. His skill set's going to look great against him. And after the fight, what did we say? All they're going to talk about is him versus Teofimo Lopez. They're going to move Devin Haney out of the picture. Like Lomachenko didn't avoid Devin Haney and get a franchise title. And they talking with Teofimo Lopez like it's a undisputed championship. Right? Now, it wasn't undisputed a few months ago. Even Lomachenko said, Teofimo Lopez is not undisputed. Now, he's going to get the Teofimo Lopez rematch. Now, Teofimo Lopez is undisputed again. If Lomachenko beats Teofimo Lopez, it doesn't matter who comes out of there. They will continue to say he's undisputed. Like, Devin Haney doesn't have a WBC championship. And even the president, he'll start, because he can't explain the WBC franchise title. He can't. Every time he starts trying to explain it, then he'll get an attitude for people who starts asking the pertinent questions because he can't explain it. There is no reason in the world to make a belt like that. To make, it's not even a belt, a title like that. For what reason? Right? Why would you even do that? And then he says for very special people that are doing this in boxing, something special. Teofimo Lopez wasn't that. It's not transferable. We're just giving it to Canelo. Yeah, then 3 months later, Lomachenko. Or 2 months later. And then all of a sudden, it's not transferable. Oh, but we can give it from Lomachenko to Teofimo Lopez, who just started boxing. He's 23 years old. He can't be that significant, right? Because 23 years old is young when you talk about Canelo versus 36-year-old Floyd Mayweather. He's too young. So how's this young dude already so... done enough, accomplished enough in his 12, 13 fights that he became something that was supposed to get this franchise title that you just said was so important from years of work and all that, right? Just went out the window. Just can't describe it at all. And what had happened was basically Canelo's mandatory is too damn hard. And his name is Charlo. That's why the name of the damn thing is Charlo belt, right? That's what it is. And Lomachenko's dude that he didn't want to fight was also hard. And that was Devin Haney. That's why we got the Charlo belt. Right? That's all this is with that damn belt. So Lomachenko being back, I ain't fighting Devin Haney, right? Which I could have fought and got that other belt and forced Teofimo Lopez to fight me for undisputed. But instead of that, I'm not going to fight Devin Haney. I'm going to comment on his fight with Linares and not fight him, even though he would have stopped his fight with Linares to fight me. But I didn't do that. That's the second time I've avoided him, right? And so now I can just fight Nakatani, who's tall and slow, right, and look good doing so. And then I can go to Teofimo Lopez, and you know what we're going to do? Everyone involved, we're going to call it undisputed again. And we're going to start trashing Devin Haney, who did it the right way. And matter of fact, call his stuff the email championship. And these guys are the ones who wrote the emails. Hey, please give me the same belt as Canelo Alvarez. You had to write somebody to do that, didn't you? Hey, please, if I can, this Teofimo Lopez here, if I beat Lomachenko, can I have the franchise title? That's like basically saying, because I don't want to fight Devin Haney after that, right? Lomachenko, can I have the franchise title? Because, Devin Haney's a little bit hard. Can I just go straight into Teofimo fight? Even though Teofimo just handled his business with Richard Comey? So, whatever, guys. Sorry. Boxing gets you negative if you know what the hell's going on. So best to either do something like this. Either be racist or something so you won't give a damn. Or don't watch too much. Don't know what's going on. Stay casual. Because the more you know, the more you're going to trip. Right? It's just ridiculous what be going on in that. This stuff is not regulated. So they basically acting the damn fool in boxing. Those are some of the headlines, y'all. I still didn't watch the Clippers game. So I got to catch up on that. So we'll get at y'all tomorrow. Doing Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.